This is A Few Good Fights, episode 28. I'm your host, Robert Palin, and as always, I'm joined by Sean Taylor. Sean, how are you doing?
It's your boy.
It's your boy.
Hey, I'm good, man.
You good, yeah?
Yeah.
How was your week? I'm used to saying weekend when we used to do it on a Monday, but how was your week?
Yeah. It's been grand, innit?
Good,
Just
yeah.
grinding it out, you know, working hard, playing hard.
Yeah.
You know.
Great stuff. There's a UFC card going down this weekend. There's also a Bellator card. We're going to talk a little bit about the Bellator card and dig into that UFC card that's on this weekend. Good main event. Ben Askren returns, fights Demian Maia in a fight that I think a lot of people wanted to see when Ben Askren signed with the UFC, just for the intrigue. But we'll talk about whether it's a promotable fight from a promotion point of view. There's also plenty of news this week. There was a UFC card on last weekend. Plenty happened. We're going to get into all the fallout from
Lots
that.
of little tidbits.
Lots of little tidbits. John Jones is in the news. Any more clickbait names there? Conor McGregor?
Conor McGregor.
Click this link. Yeah, brilliant. And also, first time ever, we've definitely done this before, fan questions this week. Plenty of them. Loads of them. Some great ones as well. One's about Sean's mother's secret ingredients. People watching. Let's get into it. UFC Fight Night Boston went down last weekend, and as we do on the show, we talk about the fallout from the cards because it's kind of been some time since it's so if you're listening now and you're like, I'm sick of UFC Fight Night Boston, we don't blame you, but we're going to talk about the news that came from that, and just a little bit on the fights because there was some good ones there. Dominic Reyes in the main event knocked out Chris Weidman, former middleweight champion, and then he called out John Jones, and now it seems like that's a potential option for John Jones, although I don't think he has said too much about it. So what was your thoughts on his performance, but more so his future now? Do you see him as a potential next contender or maybe future contender?
Yeah, he looked good.
It's the Chris Weidman thing, isn't it?
It's the Chris Weidman thing, isn't it? Weidman was another guy who could have come up, got 2 wins and got a title shot. Even one win, probably.
One win.
Reyes looked good. He did. He sparked him. He looked good.
You don't seem convinced.
Yeah, like it's Weidman needs to retire. That's my issue.
Is that it? Yeah. He's not retiring.
He's
by the way.
taken a lot of brain trauma in his last few fights.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
I sent you something. Actually, I sent it to you the morning after the fight.
Yeah,
and then I realised that you hadn't watched the fight.
Yeah.
So I had to make sure you didn't look at it until you'd seen them.
But
since Weidman and Rockhold fought for the title, their streak since is awful, and it was just interesting to see how much a hard fight can take out of you. We've kind of seen it a little bit with Rory since that Robbie fight. Yeah, he doesn't
look the same.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to be in there as much. Yeah, you get the feeling.
He said it as well.
He said it. Yeah. It's just interesting to see the effect a hard fight can actually have on you mentally and physically.
Yeah.
I think Weidman. I know he probably won't retire. He said he's not, did he?
Yeah, he said he won't retire. He's not ready.
I think he needs to retire, to be honest. I didn't ask. I don't care whether he's ready or not. I think he looks ready to retire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the thing was about the finish was, you know, again, these are light heavyweights.
Yeah, they hit hard.
They hit hard, so there's that. But you have to think that if Weidman's chin wasn't as compromised as it is now, that he would have been able to take that shot a few years ago. Yeah.
If he's fighting Reyes 2-3 fights ago, you'd probably fancy him.
Yeah, you probably would. Like, I fancied him just because of skill set and because Reyes was like a little bit unproven, and that fight that he had before this one, which now seems like a distant memory. Like everyone has forgot about that one. Yeah, everyone forgot about that one, but that was close.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand why you're not convinced for Reyes, because you have to consider that last one against Volkan. Like Volkan,
he could easily be 1-1 in his last 2 fights. He
could, and I think with Volkan is that, like, you're kind of saying now, well, Weidman's not really a light heavyweight. That's a middleweight that he fought. Knocked him out. We didn't really learn a whole lot. And the problem in the fight with Volkan, if you go back and look at it, was it was down the stretch. It wasn't early. The problem was down the stretch. So we just don't know what he'll do with John Jones. But then John Jones now, you know, competing against Thiago Santos and potentially losing that one, he doesn't look all that great. So I think there's a little bit of chink in the armour as well.
I'm not so sure if there's a chink in the armour. Yeah, to be honest.
Bad night in the office.
John Jones needs Ngannou, he needs Stipe, and he needs DC more than they need him. Yeah. There is no not credible, but there's no real interesting fights for Jones at light heavy anymore. Reyes is probably next.
He might be.
He probably is.
Yeah.
Not that interested in that fight, to be honest.
No.
I don't know about you. Yeah, I'm not totally interested in that fight. I think Jones needs a big fight.
Yeah.
I think
I
the
don't know.
UFC need Jones to have a big fight. Jones isn't a guy who's going to sell 600k pay-per-views on his own against a guy like Santos.
Yeah.
He needs an Ngannou, a DC or a Stipe, I think.
Yeah. So you're saying he needs heavyweight?
Yeah, essentially,
yeah.
Or a Johnny Walker or something.
Yeah, like Johnny Walker's an interesting one as well, but
he's a bit away.
He's a bit away. Like, I think realistically, all these guys are a bit away.
Yeah.
But there's nobody else there.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
If light heavyweight was stacked, Reyes and Johnny Walker are guys you would be looking at 2-3 fights down the line, and you're like, they're great fights.
Exactly.
But the way the division is now, they're probably going to get rushed.
They probably will.
To the detriment of their career.
Yeah, which is
We've
a
seen it
shame.
with Darren
Which
Till.
is an absolute shame. Yeah, that was a fun fight, but the better fight I thought on the card was Stevens and Rodriguez.
Classic.
Yeah, it was a bit of a classic. It was good to see them embrace at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also, for the fans who were saying that Jeremy Stevens quit in that one, I think he proved you wrong that he didn't quit, because that was a phenomenal performance as well.
These guys ain't quitters, like. They're not.
They're not. But Rodriguez, he's inching his way closer to like the top tier in that division. He was set back by Frankie Edgar a while ago, but now he's kind of inching his way back, and it seems like he has a bit of a chip on the shoulder.
Yeah. I think one more fight for him.
Yeah.
Maybe a title end. I know he called for a title end. I know Volkanovski obviously has matched to fight Max.
Yeah.
And we've seen Ortega matched against Korean Zombie.
I believe so, yeah.
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 Winner of that fights, yeah.
Yeah.
Winner of fights, winner of Volkanovski and Max.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. The Greg Hardy thing was weird.
So weird.
Next, Greg Hardy's in the news next as well. But who do you put the blame on there? Because I think
everyone.
I agree with everyone, but like when you actually just watch what happened, to be fair to Greg Hardy, he did ask. He's like, "Can I take this?" And your man's like, "Okay." But like, it's not really Greg Hardy's job to know that he can't take it. He should have been told that he couldn't take it there.
Greg, he would have known weeks in advance that he might need an inhaler before this fight. Check it out. It ain't hard. Get in touch.
I agree with that.
Get in touch with the commission. Find out for sure. Weeks. Don't ask in the middle of a round.
Yeah.
And then if the guy looks like he's not sure, are you really going to chance it?
But the guy didn't say no. That's my thing. Like, it's like the guy was like, "Is it approved?" And then Greg Hardy said, "It's approved by USADA." Like, I just think that it was a bad move by Hardy, but I just think that the blame should be put on this commission guy, because it's his job. It's not Greg Hardy's job to regulate his own corner. You know, it's up to the guy. I think, personally.
I think it's up to both. Like, Hardy should be checking this out weeks in advance, in my opinion, and the commissioner should fucking damn right know what's allowed to be taken.
100%. Yeah.
What's I know there's differences between the commissions on. Some of them let you have electrolyte drinks in between rounds, and some of them are just water. Yeah, I was reading up on this after. The article I sent you about the legal stuff is interesting. Yeah, I think the blame's on everyone here. It was a shit show from the commission, and Hardy's an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, you need to check this beforehand. You cannot be asking in the middle of a round, like, can I have a fucking inhaler? Yeah. Come on, like, he would have known that he takes an inhaler. He probably takes it every day during training. Like, why wouldn't you need it in the fight? So find out. Yeah,
it's bizarre. I wonder if they would have let him have it. I doubt it. But
I doubt it personally.
Essentially, he could have went and asked, and then it probably would have been put back to his opponent then. Like, are you okay with him having it? Which, of course not. Why would you?
Yeah. Luke Thomas raised an interesting point on this. He's like, what biological advantages are we okay with people having? Yeah. As in, you're bigger than me. We're okay with that. So if we're both fighting at 155, you're naturally bigger than me. We're okay with that. You don't breathe as well as I do.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's not.
You can get into the weeds on them things.
I mean, you can go down a rabbit hole with all this. The rights and wrongs. It's interesting to go down that rabbit hole, but
it is, because like, if you look at them two guys who fought, like, clearly Greg Hardy was like, he certainly put a lot of work in over his career and everything like that, but he's clearly the better athlete, and a lot of that is genetics. A lot of that is genetics. He's clearly the better athlete than the other guy.
Genetically, you're a better athlete than me. But I can't breathe as well as you, so I need an inhaler. So like, where's the leveler here? what are we allowing and what are we not allowing?
Yeah, it's,
How deep do you go into it? Like,
yeah, you could go deep, but let's not get
Go
there.
deep.
Let's not
I
get.
seen you smiling. You're thinking.
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of Greg Hardy, he's going to step in to fight Alexander Volkov in clearly the biggest step up in his career. That's going to be at UFC in Moscow, I believe.
Yes.
And it's not going to be the main event. The Calvin Kattar versus Zabit Magomed Sharapov.
Zabit back in now.
Nailed that second name there.
Go on, boy.
Up out of that. But yeah, Greg Hardy steps in to fight Alexander Volkov, and of course, Junior Dos Santos is out of that fight.
You said this to me. Fair play to Hardy, and it was at his request apparently.
It feels like I'm defending Greg Hardy.
Yeah, I'm not defending him.
He seems to be an arsehole. I'm not defending him.
Prick.
Yeah,
I think he's an idiot.
Yeah.
I don't think he has much remorse for what he's done. He doesn't seem to care. He seemed to be. That's a totally different. But yeah, the point is, fair play to him for taking his step up, because
let's take every situation
as
it is on their
own
own
merit.
merit.
Outmatched on paper.
Yeah, on paper. Yeah, Jack Slack actually wrote a very funny tweet, I thought, and it probably is right. Now, if I had to pick someone right now, of course I'm picking Volkov to win the fight. Of course I am. But he was like, I can't wait to watch Greg Hardy fight terribly but still knock out Volkov because UFC heavyweight division. I was like, it is true. Yeah. It is true. The heavyweight division is a hot mess because anyone can win. It's heavyweight. They're big punchers. Like, it's just fucking...
My question is, how does Hardy fuck up this time? What's he going to do?
I don't know. Like,
are you going to stick a needle up his arse in between rounds or something?
Yeah, maybe before it.
Yeah.
But like, it seems like everywhere where he goes, controversy follows. So yeah, we'll have to figure it out. Let us know in the comments below. How will Greg Hardy fuck this one up?
Yeah.
Well,
and get creative, get imaginative.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Inhalergate is gone. We had Tailgate with DC. What's going to be next with Greg Hardy? But yeah, fair play to him, to be honest. Like, it's a huge step up.
Fair play to him.
But it is also one of them things where, is he getting rewarded for messing up, and is he getting rewarded for being on? Technically, he hasn't got a win, and what was it?
Well,
so
actually,
no contest.
This is his 5th fight this year. First fighter in UFC history to do it.
Yeah, I don't have his record there, but like, what did it look like? So his last one now was a no contest. Yeah. The one before that, was that a win?
I believe so. I was actually looking at this earlier. I should remember, but
yeah, I can't remember because there's been so much controversy. So I do apologise.
Yeah, so last fight, no contest.
Yeah.
Ben Sassoli. Fight before that, Juan Adams win with hammer fists.
Oh, the weird one, yeah.
Yeah, Dmitry Smolyakov, ground and pound. The one before that, Alan Crowder, illegal knee.
The legal knee.
His UFC debut, the illegal knee.
Yeah.
But that was in January. So he's fought January, April, July, October, now November.
So he's 2-2.
Basically 3 weeks essentially between these fights. So.
Yeah. Mad altogether.
Yeah.
Jose Aldo, I'm not sure, there's a link there. I'm not sure if you can get it up on the screen, if we can do that. If not, it's fine. You've probably seen it. But Jose Aldo is reportedly making a move to Bantamweight, of all places. And he did call out Henry Cejudo and said that he would knock him out if they fought, and said that he's too hard to take down, so Cejudo doesn't have a chance. First things first, what's your thoughts on, and I'll let you do that so you can do it, and I'll fill some airtime. But when you can, what is your thoughts on Jose Aldo moving to 135 when
there was often talk about lightweight, wasn't there?
There was a lot of talk about lightweight. Like back in the day when he was the 145 pound king, he was talking about going up to lightweight, but now it's switched.
Did you see the picture of him?
Yeah, that was actually the one I was thinking of, not this one, but yeah, this is cool.
Well, this was the link that was down.
Yeah, I put the wrong link.
You, Rob.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
He's looking thin. Like the picture I seen, it doesn't look like there's a whole pile of weight to come off.
That's what I said, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he makes bantam, to be totally honest.
Yeah, like
not safely.
No. And I remember the first thing that came to my mind was when he fought in Toronto. He fought his name is escaping me, but it'll come back to me. And essentially he had to get pulled from like a press conference, pre-fight press conference, because he was having trouble making weight. So like he was basically dehydrated.
He never made 145 overly easy. He never looked totally.
He looked
great.
terrible.
Yeah. Especially with the smaller guys, there's less to come off you. It's not like the bigger. Like you can see how Anthony Johnson could cut down. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of meat there. Yeah, there's meat there. There's not a lot of meat on these guys.
That's why when you look at that picture, and that's clearly Jose Aldo not really cutting weight. He's just losing weight to prepare for the cut.
Yeah,
like, there's a difference. You lose the weight, and then the end bit where you're like removing everything else in your body, the actual weight cut is like all the water from your body and all that kind of stuff. And it looks like he's at that stage already.
Yeah.
And he's probably 150 there or something. He's probably 150 there or something.
He probably will attempt a test cut at some point to like 140.
Yeah.
And see where he's at.
But like it's always weird because like he's so much older now, and he found a trouble making 145. I don't know. I don't like the idea.
Yeah,
I think
especially as you get older, it's harder to make your natural weight, let alone a lower weight.
Yeah.
I'm not even that overly interested in that fight, to be honest. I'd rather see Cejudo against Benavidez or some of the bantam guys.
I agree.
Cejudo against Edgar interests me.
Yeah,
that's an interesting
Edgar
fight.
weird, dude.
I know, I did,
yeah,
sorry.
it's weird. Edgar.
Edgar. Yeah. That fight interests me if Ed goes to go down to bantam.
Yeah, I'd like to see that fight too. Yeah, it's
Aldo
good.
doesn't. I don't know.
Like I don't mind the fight, but it's just I don't want to see Jose Aldo kill himself to make 135.
Yeah.
It doesn't interest me at all.
The fight doesn't interest me enough to want to see him do that.
Yeah, like it reminds me. This would be a little bit before your time, but Kenny Florian made 145 at one point,
hell.
and he looked terrible. Like he looked terrible and didn't perform very well either.
Yeah.
And I just think if Jose Aldo tries to make that weight, it's going to be a bad look.
Yeah.
And I don't think the UFC should let him, if I'm honest.
Tell you what, that fight ain't hitting California anytime soon.
No, it's not. Yeah, 100% weight increase since thing. Conor McGregor is in the news.
Of course he is.
It's becoming like a weird feature. But essentially he's scheduled to appear at a press conference today for you people who are listening on a Thursday, but he was also in the news before that. Now, he's in the news for other reasons.
Lots of reasons.
And we avoided some certain topics, and everybody knows what it is when I'm talking about this, for weird grey area reasons where media in Ireland can't talk about certain things.
We're going to continue to avoid those topics.
Media in Ireland can't talk about those things, and I wouldn't consider us media, but I don't know where that grey area is, and we're just not going to touch it.
Some scenes of people started considering us as media.
I know, yeah, the fucking lads. But yeah, weird one. Anyway, the other news was that essentially the bit that I saw was that he took credit for the BMF belt, which I was like,
come on,
Conor, at this stage of your career and where you are right now, you can't be doing this. You can't be saying this shit because it doesn't come off very, very well.
Yeah. You have to wonder what's going through his head when he says this stuff.
Okay.
Like in his head, is he thinking, I created the BMF belt? Nate literally is the brainchild of this. He came up with it in the octagon.
But Conor signed off on it.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
He told Dana, that's okay, Dana.
Yeah, I don't think that's the most interesting news, but the one that piqued my interest was Dana White. So he came out and he said that Conor's not the man anymore.
Yeah.
Khabib is the man, which I find interesting because it's kind of the first time that he's ever said something like this.
Because, I mean, we know how long Dana has never explicitly said that Conor was stripped of the lightweight title.
Yeah, he was.
Like, when you look at that and now to say he's not the man is interesting.
Yeah, it's a clear... Like, I mean, for me, it looks like we don't need Conor McGregor anymore.
Yeah.
And we're happy enough to speak the truth, to be fair. Like, he's not the man anymore. But if this was a few years ago, there's no way Dana White would have been saying this.
No.
Because that's a cash cow. Yeah.
But, yeah, there was a media that actually was talking to you about this earlier. Today, as we record Wednesday, in the Ukraine, he was doing it with some dodgy betting company. And he basically said he wants to fight and that he wanted to get on that December 14 card.
Yeah.
And he's given them a number of dates. And he said he wants to fight, giving them a number of dates, but the UFC are the ones having the issues. Or what it sounded to me like was contract issues.
I'd imagine so.
And
like
he did say that there'll be a fight announced in this coming media tour that he's doing. I doubt it. Yeah, I doubt it. I think it sounds like contract issues and am I main event anymore or
where's my pay-per-view
like
money and the ESPN thing and all that kind of stuff, which is, to be honest, fair enough. If it's, get your money or whatever.
But it sounds like they could be ways apart with those estimations and where they're at.
Yeah, just keep him away from Khabib, please, because we don't want to see that fight. Bellator goes down this weekend as well, and we're not going to break down the full card, but I want to talk about some of the fights. It's Bellator 232. It's the rematch, McDonald against Lima. It's also the finals of the welterweight Grand Prix, and it's also a title fight. And I think the Grand Prix prize is like $1 million or something like that. So it's a big fight. Of course, they fought before. It's a rematch, really fun fight. But what's your thoughts on Rory McDonald versus Douglas Lima? It's fun, isn't it?
I'm kind of always intrigued now watching Rory step in after the stuff he's been saying. It's just like, where is he at? Because we know one is there. He has been arguably the best welterweight in the world for a period of time. So it's interesting to see where he'll be at. I feel like Faraz Sahabi isn't the kind of guy who would let him go in if he wasn't mentally right. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
I think. And Lima is a savage. was watching some highlight reels of him there last night. He is a savage.
Yeah. Like, I think you can make the argument, as you said, that Rory has like slowly declined over the last few fights.
He's been in some wars.
And he fought Lima like 3 fights ago or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was. And Lima done well. You know, Rory won the fight, but Lima done well on that fight, I thought. So he's kind of caught up with him a little bit. The Neiman Gracie fight with Rory, it was fine, but it wasn't Rory McDonald. That's the problem.
He said as much.
Yeah, he did, and it's just not him anymore. So will the fact that this is a title fight, finals of the tournament, which, you know, is right down his alley, like he does love that kind of stuff, you know, this kind of tournament bracket. I'd get
myself up for £1 million.
And £1 million. So maybe that will pique his interest, tickle his pickle, as you like to say.
Tickle his pickle.
But I really like the fight. Do you have a pick on
it? Rory's certainly be getting his pickle tickled with £1 million.
Yeah.
A pick on the fight, I don't know. I think it depends on.
Get off that fence.
If old Rory is there, Rory. Otherwise, I think Lima.
Is old Rory going to be there?
I don't know. I ain't Faraz Zahabi or inside Rory's head.
Make a pick.
You make your pick. I'm going to look at the odds.
Rory. I'm going to go Rory.
I was hoping you'd be a bit slower than that.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go Rory. I think...
I'm going to look at the odds.
Yeah, cool. I still think he's an excellent fighter. I think if he is mentally there, which is still a question, I think he wins the fight. But it's that's still a question. Get the odds there and make your pick in a minute. But I'm going to go down to the co-main event. Paul Daly is back against Sad Awad. Like, I think this is a competitive enough one because both guys are good. But I also think a lot of these fights, if you kind of go down them, it's like the one like really big name or like relatively big name against a guy who isn't quite known. Now, Sad Awad's been around for a while. I think a lot of people know who he is. But like they will be promoting this as the Paul Daly show in a way. Further down, Robin van Roosmalen, excellent kickboxer, of course, makes his third MMA fight. Or has his third MMA fight against a guy who I don't really know who he is, but that's a fun one. What's the odds on that one?
Interesting, actually. Rory McDonald is a 5-4 underdog, and Douglas Lima is 4-7.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, it does make sense, but wow.
And to be fair, those prices I'd probably be a little bit inclined to take a punt on Rory.
Yeah.
But I'm going to pick Lima. So yeah.
How do you think they're going to move?
The odds?
Yeah.
Not too much
not
on
too
Bellator,
much.
to be honest.
Yeah.
The Vegas odds would be interesting now to follow on that one. Where is the card? Do you know?
I
don't know. Yeah, the Vegas
it's
lines.
on
I know it's on the zone. Just for that fucking update, Rob.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Nick Newell's on the card as well.
Nick Newell is on the card as well.
Which is a cool story.
Yeah.
Everyone should watch Nick Newell.
It is an
fight.
interesting story.
Yeah. Also, Patrick Mix, I'll call him out because I am quite high on Patrick Mix. I think he's a good prospect.
Deadly.
Any other news?
Loads.
Yeah. What you have?
1 second.
Loads,
yeah, I've loads
I need to find it. There's too much news.
Yeah, we had a week of weird rivalries, Rob.
We did have a week of weird. What's the weirdest one?
Don't make me say that again. We had Big John McCarthy against Ariel Helwani.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did you see what that was all about?
You explained it to me.
And I still don't get it.
Yeah, you did explain it to me, and it was a weird one.
Yeah.
Ariel essentially said that the UFC were very much against regulation. Is that right?
Yeah.
And Big John.
The early UFC owners.
Early UFC. Apologies. Big John has been there from the start. That man's an OG. And he disagreed with Ariel.
Yeah. Basically said that Ariel was promoting the company line in a way of like when Zuffa come in, they ran towards regulation and all this, and Big John McCarthy claims that they didn't really change anything. They done it, but the old promoters were also doing it. So they had a bit of a beef. I just thought it was very weird.
It was, yeah. Big John v Ariel. Give me Big John all day.
Yeah. But even the way like they addressed, like John talked about on his podcast and all, and like to be fair, he went in on Ariel. Like he was talking about like, oh, you have this journalism degree and you should do your fact checking, and like it seemed like
a bit personal.
It seemed personal. It seemed like that wasn't the only problem. You know, it was kind of weird.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see his Big John on the MMA hour anytime soon.
Yeah, probably not. It's not called the MMA hour
Sorry,
anymore.
I just thought that as I said it. Thanks, Rob. The other weird rivalry, John Jones and Tony Ferguson. This one is weird, like.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? How did this happen? All I seen was a tweet by
It was a
Tony.
tweet. Tony tweeted out, basically calling out John Jones, and he said, do you want to run it back like we did in our college days? I'll step up he said 2 class, I think, in the tweet. In their wrestling days, whatever.
Yeah.
They hardly fought in their wrestling days, did they?
They must have. You know, John Jones seems like the guy who was probably not that big when he was younger. like based on his legs.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
someone
then-
at Juice will do that to you.
You said it, I didn't, but I also made the cocaine joke earlier. So, what can you do? Yeah, John Jones. I don't know. They must have fought in wrestling
Must
or grappled in wrestling, but just bizarre. But then John Jones went pretty dark with it. Did you see his dark tweet?
I did
He
see
said
it. I
something
can't
like-
just remember off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
he said something like blah 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 blah. That's not important. But then
Yeah.
he said, are like you suicidal now?
That was it, yeah.
Which, you know, at the best of
Yeesh.
times, bringing up suicide isn't great.
Mm.
And then bringing it up about Tony Ferguson, who clearly had some personal issues not too long ago, is also not great.
Yeah.
Then, of course, John Jones deleted the tweet because that's what he does.
Yeah, like, I think Israel's one where he said feeling cute might go punch a pregnant lady or something like that. Was it?
Yeah.
Knock down a pregnant lady.
Yeah.
It's a bit more tasteful than the suicide one, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Like, that one's like,
That was kind of a play on.
yeah, like, that's not attacking. Like, I mean, John Jones is clearly attacking, like, I guess the mental
Yeah, it
health
feels like
there.
he's making a joke of Tony having those kind of mental health
issues, whereas Izzy was making a joke about him being a fuck up, not
Yeah.
about the pregnant lady.
Yeah.
So I think that's.
But the thing is, as well, if you offer Tony Ferguson that John Jones fight, you know he's taking it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course he is.
Yeah.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
Of course he is.
A weird
He's
one.
mad. What else do we have?
Dustin Poirier said he's out for 6 weeks. He'll be
Yeah.
getting another procedure on his hip. He's not going to be in the octagon until February, March.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like, it's very hard to match make now, but like, what
Yeah.
would you like see with Dustin Poirier? What kind of makes sense if you had to make it now and you could make the fight?
Potentially with some of the stuff that's going on with Conor, we might not see him till that time.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
I'd like to see that rematch.
Yeah. What else do we have?
Nico Price. This is my favourite thing from the week, okay?
Yeah. We didn't actually talk about Nico Price.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Nico
Yeah.
Price says he's trying to... This man's creative. He's crazy. His kickouts or his knockouts are insane. Nico Price says he's trying to implement soccer kicks into his game under the unified rules
How does he do that?
by lifting his opponent's feet off the ground to make them do a handstand and then kicking them in the face. Says he's even asked a referee who approved. I tell you what, I approve.
I approve, yeah. Pride never die.
Insane.
He's
Imagine
a
seeing this.
madman. Nico Price is a madman.
What a beautiful human.
In the UFC, I'm not sure about his previous, not previous career, but his pre-UFC career. But in the UFC alone, he has 2 knockouts from his back, an up kick and elbows, was it?
Yeah.
I think
like
it was
that.
elbows or something.
Think so.
Hammer fist from the bottom.
Yeah, that was it.
Holy shit.
Uh,
And now he's trying to
Bas
soccer
Rutten
kick
style.
legally.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Love it, man. I love it.
That's amazing.
Do
And
you know what? Now that it's been said, I need this in my life.
yeah.
I need to see
Imagine
this.
seeing that.
Imagine
Holy shit.
who he tries it out on.
Poor training partners.
Another little tidbit. Claudia Gadea out of December fight against Cynthia Cavillo.
Cavillo, yeah.
Her ankle isn't healing fast enough.
Yeah. It's fine.
Duke Rufus says a Pettis v Cowboy rematch is in the works. Actually, what he said was it was agreed by both fighters verbally, and then he deleted the post.
He deleted
which is
the
interesting.
post, yeah, which is weird.
I mean, Cowboy. We know Cowboy
Jumped the
said
gun.
yes.
Yeah, of course he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't even give him a name, and he said yes. So.
Yeah. I'd like to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to John Jones again. Final little bit. He done a bit of a Q&A, and someone asked him, "Are you going to fight Francis Ngannou?" And he said he feels like that fight is inevitable. Yes, please.
Yes, please. Yeah, we kind of talked about it. There's not really a whole lot at light heavyweight for John Jones, and to be honest, he's getting older. Like, if he really wants to have the big fights, heavyweight is where you're going to do
If
it.
he wants legacy defining stuff, get your ass to heavyweight now.
Yeah, imagine how interesting that would be as well.
Oh,
Like, just him at heavyweight and just
Yeah.
having all them fresh matchups.
yeah.
How does he do a heavyweight?
I don't know. I think DC beats him at heavyweight. Stipe is a damn interesting fight, and so is Francis. Like, he's going to have that speed, but I mean, Francis is damn quick for a heavyweight.
He is, yeah.
So
And he has freak power.
they're just intriguing matchups. I don't know.
Yeah. Just saw it just while we're on the John Jones thing. He put up a tweet 11 hours ago, I think it was. But he said that, really not sure when I'll be fighting next. Feel like I have nothing to gain from beating Dominic.
I agree.
I've actually felt
with
that
that.
way about my last 2 opponents. I want a super fight. Put up the heavyweight then.
Yeah, but the thing is with that, like, it's all well and good him saying he wants a super fight now when he realised he is fuck all from a light heavyweight.
Yeah.
I mean, he was talking for ages that he didn't want to go to heavyweight.
Mm.
So, he needs heavyweight, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. We asked for some. That's all the news you have.
That's all.
Cool.
So,
New thing. We asked for some fan questions, some viewer submitted questions today.
got some weird ones.
We got some weird ones. We got some responses. I'll go to Facebook first. I'll pose this question to you first, Sean. James Maudsley, butchered it. Sorry. Do you think that going up in weight class benefits a striker over a grappler? That's an interesting one. Do you think going up in weight class benefits a striker over a grappler?
Damn, that's an awful technical question for my own technical brain. That's really interesting. I think a striker probably has more advantages than a grappler going up. Because a grappler going up he's going to be at a weight disadvantage.
Yeah.
A striker is going to have a speed advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think
that's the point.
Yeah, I think that if you are a striker moving up in weight class, then like of course there's some disadvantages there as well. Like obviously lack of power. If you're coming up against grapplers who are bigger than you, then there's the disadvantage. But in terms of like your offensive skill set, I completely concur with the whole speed beats power adage. 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Speed is king.
Yeah.
So if you're going to go up and you're a striker, I think you get more advantages.
Speed and timing.
Yeah.
Speed and timing.
Yeah, speed and timing, I agree. Than if you're a grappler going up, because like technical ability in grappling is again king, but there's also that X factor of you are like putting a lot of pressure on a guy, and if he's stronger than you, there is advantages there.
Yeah.
I've come up against, like I've done a bit of jiu-jitsu and I've come up against guys who were like first day, and if they're incredibly strong, it is very difficult.
You know what came into my head as you said that? You know that meme, and it's like, oh, you're hard.
yeah.
Sorry, go on.
The guys, even on their first day, it's like you go against them, and if they're incredibly strong, you do have a hard time with them just because they're like so much stronger. So I'd imagine, I think that applies.
That's a deadly question. I actually love to go a bit deeper into that. Yeah,
I agree. That's probably something we could go into.
Yeah, I'd love to go into that a bit deeper. That's a great question.
Again on Facebook, Callum Blues. Do you think that Dominic Reyes poses any more of a threat to John Jones than any of his recent opponents? And if so, how will he achieve the impossible?
No. I think that fight very much ends up like the Santos fight, where you possibly see an unmotivated Jones knows he can win, just goes through the motions. No, I don't.
Yeah,
you?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think. Yeah,
you put it better than me.
No, I just think it's very early for him, and I think relative to the other guys, I don't really see where he poses any more of a threat. Like striking, I think Anthony Smith was a really good striker. I thought Thiago Santos had a lot of power, and I think that's kind of where he is in his career as well. Like he's a good striker with a lot of power, and I think John Jones has seen that over his career. Yeah, I don't see like where he stands out. Moving on to YouTube, we actually got a lot on YouTube, Sean, and Pompous Psycho is back with
my guy.
Pound for pound best comments on YouTube. I'm sorry to everybody else who commented, but Pompous Psycho just leaves the best comments. We'll start off with one of his, and this is actually one that isn't tongue in cheek, but it's an interesting one as well. What's your guess on the news on Conor McGregor's press conference on Thursday?
Proper 12.
I think that was his only serious question.
Proper 12.
Yeah, that's it.
Proper 12. He tweeted a while back that Proper 12 is coming to Russia. Yeah, it's
right,
Proper 12. Proper, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. I concur.
So he asked for Palin's pick on the top 5.
Palin's pick, I love that.
Palin's picks on the top 5 hottest female fighters in the UFC. But I'm going to throw this one to Sean first, because I think Sean would probably have he probably just thought this one out a bit more than I have.
I wanted to do this for so long. Back when Noel was doing the show, Dorman agrees with me. Me and Brendan Dorman need to get together, and we'll do a video on the hottest chicks in MMA.
Okay. Give me your list.
Yeah, put me on the spot now.
Come on. Let's go. Well, just pick 5 that jump out.
Okay, 5 that jump out. They have to be active.
No.
Misha Tate's there.
Okay.
Paige. But her accent would go through my head.
Paige's accent?
Yeah, her voice would go through my head.
Okay.
Who else am I a fan of? A fan of Lee McCord.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Local.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm on the spot now.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll throw some in there for you.
Rachel Ostovich.
Right, yeah. Rachel Ostovich, yeah.
One more.
Michelle Watterson.
Oh, Michelle Watterson, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's your 5?
that stand out to me, but there's a list of women there. I sound awful.
I think you have too many
I sound
picks.
awful.
Oh, well, you know,
Yeah.
you're only a man.
I just
like.
appreciating the fucking savages.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like I'm getting out of this one. But I think your picks are on the ball. What's their name? Valerie. What's her name?
There's
The Bellator.
yeah. I
girl.
know who you're on, but I can't think of her name. I
Yeah,
always
she's good
forget her
looking.
name.
She's very
You said her
attractive.
name to me before.
Yeah. She's But yeah, I think I don't know. I like Michelle Waterson.
Yeah.
I like Michelle Waterson. There's number one for me.
She seems genuinely lovely as well.
Yeah, she does. Yeah,
I'd love to
very
like
nice
hug
person.
her or something. Just she seems like that kind of woman, you know.
Yeah, mom chap.
Yeah.
It's a pity that she never got that. Or she probably won't get that prize, I guess you could say.
No.
James Maudsley, who back in the day, I believe he was asking, not back in the day, this was like about a couple of months ago, he was saying, can I join the show? He was like, it was funny anyway. I can't remember exactly what the comments were, but he's like, can I join the show now? Send us an audition tape. And can you fly over to Ireland every Wednesday to record? That is my
we don't
question.
do expenses also.
We don't do expenses. I'm sorry. All on your back. We make no money. We can't pay you. But if you want to join us anyway, audition tape.
Yeah. Did he ask a question?
That was the question.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Send us an audition tip.
1 second. This is I don't have a laptop, you see.
Because he's poor and we make no money.
Pompous Psycho again. This is another serious question. I know the last one wasn't quite serious, but this one is. Does Kevin Lee see holes in Gregor Gillespie's ground game? Possibly. Like Gregor Gillespie, I think, is probably going to be a future champ or at least a future contender. Haven't seen him off his back yet. So I'm wondering what his ground game is like there. Excellent on top. His striking is very, very good. But yeah, maybe. What's your thoughts?
I mean, Kevin Lee sees holes in Khabib's game, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he sees some in Gregor Gillespie's game by the use of MMA mats.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. He probably does. I mean, the thing with that is, does he see genuine holes? Like, every fighter believes they can beat everyone.
Which they should.
You need that mentality, but
Every fighter is delusional.
yeah, you have to be delusional.
Yeah.
You
You go into a cage to fight.
Yeah.
You have to be a little bit delusional.
Tapped, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably does see holes.
The holes. This is Ethan Roy says, how bad does Hardy lose to Volkov? And when he does, will he stop getting put up high on cards?
Probably not.
No.
Because he's a name, especially
Yeah.
to the American audience. The ESPN style audience know who Greg Hardy is,
That's very true.
and that's why he's on a co-main event slot
Yeah.
or like a main card slot. That's why he's there.
Yeah.
They know who he is.
Yeah. I agree with that one. And I think they can, it's Volkov at the end of the day. They can easily say, huge step up in competition. We're going to bring Greg Hardy back and give him manageable fights.
Couple of weeks notice, yeah.
Yeah, he said, I don't like the guy, but I will give it to him. Fighting 5 times this year, and this one with a serious step up in competition on short notice. Hello from
disagree with
Canada.
that. My guy.
Canada, nice guy.
Canada, eh?
Nice guy. We'll jump back into a Pompous Psycho one. This is a serious one again. What the hell?
Him and Sal have an awful bromance.
Oh man, I hope Sal made a comment here. So he says, how are the first 2 rounds going to play out in the BMF belt fight, and who wins? Oh, he's looking for an early pick, but specifically,
He's not getting my early pick. That's for next week's show.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Sorry, man, but yeah, the first 2 rounds, how are they going to play out? What specific? Why the first 2 rounds?
Do you know?
I love that.
The sadist in me hopes we see a 5-round fucking war.
Filth bag.
Yeah, dope bag.
So the first 2 rounds is going to be.
I hope so. Like,
Balls to the
realistically,
wall.
the first minute, I don't even think we're going to see the first round feeling each other out. These guys, they're BMFs, like.
Yeah.
They don't need to feel each other out.
No.
I hope we see a dogfight, to be
Yeah.
honest. That's
Yeah.
my prediction. Prediction? Pain.
Yeah, my prediction is that. Yeah, it's tough. It's a fight where like I haven't actually sat down to think of what's going to happen, like technically and actually in the fight. I think Masvidal is going to have a better start than Diaz. That's my
Yeah,
prediction.
Diaz isn't the quickest style.
Yeah, that's my prediction.
We'll do that to you.
Yeah. FIFA King UFC asked, is Ngannou versus Lewis the worst fight in UFC history?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that I've seen, yeah. You're in a better position to answer that. It's the worst fight I've ever
Yeah.
seen. Jesus Christ.
Is it the worst fight? Probably, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's terrible. It is terrible. I think, when you have expectations for something as well, it makes it worse when it's a stinker. And I think that's kind of happens here as well.
Yeah, it was the hope that killed us.
The what?
The hope killed us.
Yeah, it did. You probably don't get this one because he hasn't refereed in a long time.
Okay.
But Ryan Compton said, what are the chances of Mario Yamazaki refereeing the Hardy Volkov fight? Laughing face. Someone's gonna die. Yeah, I wouldn't put him in there with heavyweights or any weights at all. Sean McCauley, loads of YouTube questions. Sean McCauley, do you think having specialists in MMA will ever die out?
No.
No,
I think you're always going to have specialists who think they can transition over.
Yeah.
I think the game is going to evolve that you're literally having MMA specialists. I think specialists, sport specialists, I think you're going to see that forever. Yeah. It's basically my thoughts on it.
I agree with that. I think they're always going to exist. I just don't think I don't know if they're going to dominate.
I think they're going to become less and less effective as generations evolve.
I agree, but I think they will exist. Does that... Can you be a specialist in boxing? Like, does that even... Like, what way could you say it? Like,
you actually don't see... You see, boxing guys don't transition to MMA because they don't need it because they're making more money in boxing.
Yeah. No, what I mean is, like because, like, boxing is... You just punch with your hands. Like, it's just fist.
MMA boxing specialist?
I don't even know how to say it. Like, a guy comes in and he... is a certain style boxer and you call him a specialist at that. I don't think that really exists, does it?
He's a striker.
Yeah, he's still a striker. Like, maybe you could say like a brawler or something.
Yeah,
is a specialist in a certain way. Let me check here. There's more. I'll go through one or two more of these. David Little, who I actually work with, said, "Are there any fighters either of you are excited about after their debut or having signed in from another promotion who turned out to be rubbish in the UFC, Kimbo not included?" So any fighters that you were excited about and then after their debut they were rubbish essentially.
I kind of have one in my head.
Do you?
Yeah.
I have one in my head as well. Go for yours first.
It's not that I'm not excited about him anymore. He just hasn't lived up to the hype. Aaron Pico.
Yes. I agree with that.
He just hasn't lived up to the hype so far. It's not to say that he won't.
Yeah.
It's just taking longer to develop than people thought he would.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I love the way Dave said Kimbo not included. Like, we're like, the great white hope. Or probably not the wrong phrase, but right phrase, but yeah. My one is a guy called Brandon Thatch.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember Brandon Thatch?
Did Gunnar fight him?
Yes, he did. Yeah. I think he finished him by choke or something like that. But yeah, Brandon Thatch before the UFC. I actually wrote a piece from him. It was one of the first pieces I wrote for a website years ago. And he was a really exciting fighter. Came into the UFC, looked good in his first fight, and then it went down pretty quickly.
You've another guy you actually like, David Branch.
Oh, Dave Branch, yeah. Although I knew his limitations.
Okay.
I wasn't like, this guy's going to be amazing. I was like, that's a good addition.
Yeah.
Didn't really turn out in the UFC. But yeah, that's a good question. Thanks. Somebody else wants to get on the show. Timothy Gallagher said, would you ever add another guy to the show? Perhaps a BJJ purple belt named Tim. Maybe. Audition tape.
Yeah. You come in and choke both of us out in one go.
Yeah. Just a couple more. FIFA King UFC, the big one. What's your thoughts on Tito versus Del Rio? Tito Ortiz Del Rio. Don't care. Why not? Have you seen that promo works and all? No.
It's awful.
MMA and pro wrestling have a very fascinating link. I might make a video on that.
MMA's origins are in pro wrestling.
Exactly.
Everything dates back to pro wrestling, really.
And I might make a video on that because it's very, very interesting. Last one, actually two more. What's the best style for MMA? That is Random Hero. Best style for MMA. I guess maybe best base to have.
Right now, wrestling's pretty dominant. Wrestling's pretty dominant.
Yeah, right, I agree. I think wrestling has always been, apart from like the early UFC days, it's always been the best base.
The thing is the lifestyle as well. They just grind it out every day. They take losses. They know how to lose. As in, it's not where striking where you can go a striking sport. You can go 16-0 and you think you're unbeatable. I mean, wrestlers grind it out every day.
Yeah, and they learn how to cut weight.
Yeah.
At an early age, get that advantage. How is Noel doing? This is Pompous Psycho. We all miss him, and will he make an appearance on the show? He's doing good. We see him every day, and maybe in the future. You never know, but he's doing well. He's I think he's happy to have one less thing on his plate. which is a good thing because he has a growing family, unlike me and Sean.
Yeah, with no responsibilities.
Yeah, I have some responsibilities.
Yeah,
but
Rob's a little bit older than me. He has some
Sean
stuff that he has to care about.
Sean just goes out on the Raz every night, and
I like a pint and a punt.
Yeah, here's one, Sean.
Okay, last one.
Yeah, what's the secret ingredient to Sean Taylor's mom uses in her worldwide famous soda bread? Guess who that was? Pompous Psycho. So what's the secret
She
ingredient?
makes a lovely soda bread. You know
Does
that?
she?
Yeah.
Unreal.
No wonder he's called Pompous Psycho. Man's watching my windows at
So
home.
he knows.
Yeah. Gluten-free flour. Sorry, my brain. Yeah, gluten-free flour. Get on
Nice. Love it. Gluten-free
it. I'm
flour.
gonna be closing my blinds
That's
now.
weird.
Yeah.
Although Irish soda bread, good guess.
Bit of a stereotype, isn't it?
Yeah, gluten-free flour. That was great. Thanks, Sean. Let's talk about a UFC card that goes down this weekend. UFC on ESPN Plus 20, also known
20.
as 20.
Stop bingo you're playing, Rob.
Yeah. What's 20 in bingo lingo?
I actually don't know.
You went to Bingo Loco recently.
I did. I was pretty local. I didn't play much bingo.
Legs 11, number 20. Maia versus Askren, also known as UFC Singapore, which means also known as early UFC card. Yes.
No, it's not, is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So surprised.
Damn it. Oh.
11 a.m. I think.
Class.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't realise that.
Oh my God, this has gone off the rails.
Great news.
It's headlined by Demian Maia versus Ben Askren. We're going to go from the top down through the whole main card. So let's talk about that main event. Demian Maia takes on Ben Askren, who got knocked out recently enough by Jorge Masvidal. He actually comes back before Jorge Masvidal, who fights next week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Knocked out's an interesting term. The term I would use is fucked up.
Yeah, he was fucked up, to be fair. And now he fights probably the best grappler he's ever fought.
Yeah.
And maybe vice versa, maybe. So what's your thoughts on this main event?
Personally, I think it's a really interesting fight.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the best matchmaking.
Why not?
Because Ben's a guy you can have a lot of fun with.
Yeah,
he's gonna
I agree.
talk,
I agree.
and you've given him the quietest guy on the whole roster.
You can't talk shit to Demian Maia.
Who's going to talk shit to Demian Maia?
You can't.
It's an intriguing fight for the likes of us, who are happy to watch high level grappling
Nerds.
because it's fucking nerds.
Yeah.
But I think this potentially has the ingredients to be a bit of a snowfest.
Do you know what it is for me? It's like the UFC didn't do themselves any favours here, because Ben Askren, at the end of the day, to most casual fans, he has a boring style. He just does.
Yeah.
And now he's fighting a guy in Demian Maia who doesn't really complement that very well. So even if Ben Askren wins, it's probably going to be a little bit boring.
Yeah.
And you're almost killing a potential star there. I know he lost that last one, but I still think he can do a lot with Ben Askren at this
100%,
point.
because he will talk and he will run his mouth and he will promote a fight.
Yeah.
But you need to give him the chance to do that.
Exactly, yeah. So I think that I like the matchup just as a matchup. I think it's
100%.
It's a question I always wanted to answer, or I wanted answered for me. Who would win if Ben Askren came against someone like Demian Maia, who has excellent grappling? So that's fun.
How do you think Ben wins the fight?
See, I'm very, very torn on this one, because Demian Maia, I think, will have a huge advantage in the striking. Like, I think Demian Maia is actually a decent striker. He's fine. Like, he's
more than good enough to hold his own to do what he needs to do, or to get you where he needs to get to
against really good strikers. Like, he's good enough just to stay in there.
Yeah.
Ben Askren doesn't really have striking. He just doesn't. That's
We've
not
seen
his
that
game.
against
Yeah.
the 5 seconds that the Jorge Masvidal fight.
And we've seen it against Robbie Lawler, and we've seen it in his one championship and his Bellator career. He's just never developed that skill. But he's been able to just manhandle guys to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Demian Maia has been out-grappled before in terms of, like, guys who would be able to hold position on him. Ben Askren is excellent at doing that. But I don't know if he's able to close the distance, get him down, and not be in trouble enough for it to go back to the feet. I'm very, very torn on this one. How are you feeling?
If you're one more question before I answer.
Yeah.
If you're Demian Maia and this goes to the ground, what are you doing?
I think you're attacking. But that's also a risk.
Yeah.
But also, Demian Maia isn't that much of a guard player. Like, he likes to be on top as well. So I would wonder, against such a high level grappler in Askren, who has some jiu-jitsu as well. Like, I think he's belted. I think he has a decent level belt. But who's so powerful and so strong in these wrestling positions, if you start attacking and you get into a disadvantaged position, especially like half guard, which is just awful for someone like Ben Askren, or maybe like backside control, that kind of weird Randy Couture position, that could be a problem. But I also think he's not the type of guy who plays off his back. So sweeps, attacking and sweeps, and just try to get back to the feet. But then it does open up Ben Askren's game as well.
If I'm Demian Maia, I'd probably look to make use of my striking advantage.
100%.
And I'd make very good use of it.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't necessarily... He can win this fight without going to the ground. Ben Askren probably can't.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Unless Ben Askren can somehow... Now this is 5 rounds as well.
Yeah.
So like if this was 3 rounds, I'd be way more confident in Askren being able to get like 2 or 3 takedowns in the fight, and then enough control position to win it. Over 5 rounds, can he do that without Demian Maia getting an opening? Now, like on the feet, I don't think Demian is going to knock him out. I don't think that's going to happen.
He can land enough hurtful blows to get Askren where he wants to get him and wear him down, I think, over the early rounds. And then if it goes later, you have to fancy Maia, I think.
Yeah, probably. It's a really tough one. It's a really, really tough one. And that's why I think it's so intriguing, because it's a tough one to pick. Like,
what's Tapology saying?
Tapology, let me see what Tapology is saying.
The odds are quite interesting on this one.
Yeah.
I mean, the way we're talking about it now, in our opinion, it's very much a 50-50 fight.
I guess Askren is a big favourite.
So Askren is 8-15 and Demian Maia is 11-8, which I think is a bit of value there.
I think there is a bit of value there. Yeah, like we just haven't really seen Demian Maia being manhandled and controlled in the way that Ben Askren does. We've seen him against good wrestlers and losing decisions and getting dominated, like Kamaru Usman, like Colby Covington. But a lot of that was striking as well. It was a mixture, and I don't see Ben Askren having that game. Over 5 rounds, I'm worried for Ben Askren being able to do that for 5 rounds, because I think that's what he needs to do. He could get a finish by ground and pound, but again, we just don't see Demian Maia getting put in those positions.
Give us a pick.
Do you know what? I'm going to go with Demian Maia just for the value. Not just for the value. I think he can win this fight. I'm going to go for that. I'm going to say he wins a decision. Probably loses the first round, and then figures out Askren in terms of takedowns, and just does enough in the striking to win on points. But yeah, I'm not confident in it. I think it's a really tough fight to pick.
Yeah, I'm going to take Demian Maia pretty much because of the value. I think it's a 50-50 fight, and I'll take Maia because of the value. Yeah, it's a intriguing matchup. It's very intriguing. The only thing I'm thinking of is Maia is certainly at the end of his career. Like, it's going to be either his last fight or maybe a second last fight. His cardio isn't as good as it has. Like, his cardio has reduced drastically, and if Ben Askren can get on top early and wear him out, he could even get like a first round TKO just from guard, landing decent shots. Because, you know, the whole adage of a black belt becomes a white belt when he's hit, and, you know, that's true for everybody. So, and Askren does have good ground and pound. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just feeling Maia here. I really am. I'm feeling Maia, but yeah, tough fight to pick. Really tough fight. Co-main event: Michael Johnson against Stevie Ray. I think this is a fun one. It's a good scrap. Yeah. Interesting odds. Michael Johnson's actually the biggest favourite on the card. He's 3-10. Okay. Which is quite interesting. I think it's probably fair given both of their recent runs of form. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's a good scrap nonetheless. Yeah, I like it too. I think the problem with Stevie Ray is, like, he's very, very well rounded, but sometimes he finds it hard to win rounds, and he's not the biggest finisher in the world, especially at this level. And what I find is that when he fights quick guys and dynamic guys, he has problems. And I think Johnson, he's probably quicker than he is dynamic, but I think he is both. His hands are super quick, and he's dynamic in the sense that he does punch to every level. He punches to the body. I think his left straight to the body is one of his best weapons. And I just think Stevie Ray will have a problem scoring here. Yeah, I'm actually looking at Tapology now at Stevie Ray's last 6 MMA bouts, because he did have a grappling bout against Paddy Pimblett. And his last 6 bouts are split decision win. Starting from the bottom, split decision win, majority decision, KO, split decision loss, unanimous decision, KO. Like a lot of decisions there and split decisions, and you kind of notice that going down through his record
and
as
then
well.
a bad KO in his last fight against pretty much a grappler.
Yeah.
Which
obviously
Michael
Michael Johnson as well is coming off that big loss to Josh Emmett.
Yeah, that was a big KO as well. So they're both coming off pretty bad KOs. Yeah. So we could be talking about a battle of the chins here.
But Johnson has 100% fought the higher level opposition.
Oh yeah,
and just looking through his record here, it's his last few fights. Like going back to 2015, Diaz, Poirier, Khabib, Justin Gaethje, Dan Elkins, Andre Fili, Artem Lobov, Josh Emmett. It's not a bad list.
That's not a bad list. Like the GOAT is on there, so you know there is that. I'm gonna go with Michael Johnson in this one. I think the odds are pretty much right. I do like Stevie Ray, but I think Michael Johnson wins this one.
I don't think there's much value in the 11-5 on Stevie Ray, so I wouldn't be backing Johnson at 3-10 personally, but I think he's who I pick. So
yeah, Tapology reflects that. It's 90% to 10%. Yeah. So also on the Demian Maia one, I don't think I called it out. It was 69% for Askren.
That's interesting.
Yeah, which I get. Askren is excellent too. Beneil Dariush against Frank Camacho. This is a really fun fight. Probably it could be the fight of the night. I think the opener to the main card as well is very good. But Beneil Dariush kind of reminds me of Michael Johnson in a way. And what I mean by that is he's a little bit inconsistent, and I hate betting on him because of that.
He's a flashy kind of guy.
Not even flashy. He's just like his chin isn't as good as you'd hope it would be. But then Frank Camacho has been in so many wars over the years that his chin could be compromised as well. But he's really, really tough. I think Beneil Dariush is the better fighter overall. Like his grappling game is phenomenal. But he does get caught, and Frank Camacho is a guy who can catch it. He's very, very good in that sense. I'm going to go with Beneil Dariush with the asterisk of if he gets into a bit of a firefight, I'm not confident in him at all. But if he can get some takedowns, mix it up. He has good striking as well, but he's just a little bit open. And Frank Camacho is a big puncher, and he's a tough guy. I'm going to go with Dariush by, I'll say late submission, like third round submission.
To be totally honest, I don't know a great deal about either fighter. I did have a look through Tapology earlier, and I think Dariush has fought the higher level guys.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm probably going to take Dariush. Camacho's record of late isn't great.
No.
And I think 4-6 on Dariush is potentially a decent bet. So I'll take that. 11-10 for Camacho if that tickles anyone's pickle.
I love that phrase. I'm going to check Tapology to see where they're going in this one, because I think it's an interesting one. I think it's a tough fight to pick as well.
It's priced accordingly.
84% Dariush, yeah. I get it.
You'd be quite happy to take Dariush then at 4-6.
Yeah. Cyril Gane against Dontal Mays.
This is a classic heavyweight fight, isn't it?
Listen, this is two heavyweight fighters. I watched a little bit on these two lads earlier. Two heavyweight fighters who fight with their hands down for the most part. They're heavyweights, so they hit very, very hard. But I think at heavyweight, one of the best attributes you can have is being a very athletic guy.
And we've seen that very late in the type of guys that heavyweight.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Cyril Gane because he's probably the more athletic guy. He's also training with Francis Ngannou, as far as I know.
Say that he's from France as well.
I'm pretty sure he's training with Francis Ngannou, so that's some good rounds at heavyweight. Like if you're training with Francis Ngannou, good rounds. I'm going to go with Cyril Gane, but
it's heavyweight. It's heavyweight. The odds on this one, 4-11 on Cyril Gane and 15-8 on Maez.
Makes sense.
Yeah, look, I'll take Gane as well. Don't know a whole pile of either guy. Maez came from the Contender Series. Gane has already had a fight in the UFC, so you got a TKO on that one. Heavyweight, so
heavyweight.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Up next is another fight. This is the one
you
that
like
I think,
this fight.
Yeah, I think it's an excellent fight. So it's Staropoli, Loriandro, whatever. Staropoli against Muslim Salikov, the king of Kung Fu. The king of Kung Fu caught my eye a few years ago. I was watching him fighting in some like Russian promotion or something, and he's a very, very fun.
Yeah, he's such a hardcore.
Yeah, such a hardcore. He's a very fun fighter to watch. As you can see, he's the king of Kung Fu, so he has a very different style that you don't see in MMA quite a bit. And in the UFC, he's done all right. He has 2 wins on the trot now, 2 finishes before he actually lost his UFC debut against Alex Garcia. But I think this one's a bit more of a manageable one than that. I think it's a good fight. Do you know these guys?
No, to be honest.
Yeah, they're a bit under the radar, these ones. But
you've piqued my interest though with Salikov, the king of Kung Fu from Russia.
Yeah, but the thing is as well, like, I picked against Staropoli in his last fight. He was fighting Thiago Alves, and I thought he looked pretty good in that fight. Now, Thiago Alves is not the guy he used to be.
No.
And there was definitely some places, especially hands being down and being open from Staropoli in that fight, that I think Muslim Salikov can capitalise on. So that's why I'm going to go with Salikov. I think he's the better striker. I think it's going to be a striking match. But again, it's 2 kind of guys who we don't really know their level just yet. So we're going to have to see. But I like Salikov in this one.
Yeah, Salikov at 4-6 is interesting, and Staropoli at 11-10. Yeah, I'm not sure how much you can gauge from the Thiago Alves win. It's kind of just a name on your record, isn't it? At this point with Alves. I'd probably take Salikov again at 4-6.
Cool. I like it. Anything on the prelims? I'm not sure if you can see them there.
I'm just having a look now through my betting odds.
Yeah.
Alex White on the card.
Yeah.
Rafael Vizev.
Yeah.
Butchered that name.
Yeah.
Might get a job on Sky Sports now.
Oh,
that one's for later in the show.
Yeah,
I said that.
Peek behind the curtain. We recorded that earlier. You'll see. Tune in. You're gonna love it. To be honest, the prelims are a bit shit, which is not great because this is an early card, so we could have woke up, watched some great fights, and had some breakfast. But
do you know what? I'm gonna have a great weekend on all the sport. This is an early card. There's darts on. There's football on. And then there's boxing on that night. And then Bellator's on as well. What a night of sport.
Sports fan, Sean over there. Big sports fan.
Great.
Yep, that's it. Let's talk about probably better fights in educating young Sean.
Yup.
Alright, Sean. Last week I gave you a fight to watch based on a recommendation we got on YouTube, which was very nice. So if you have any more recommendations, let us know in the comments below. Sean won't read them, but we'll
sometimes he reads them.
Yeah, sometimes he reads them. So it was Fedor versus Mark Hunt at Pride Shockwave 2006. Give us your thoughts.
Loving the Mark Hunt buzz at the minute. I do enjoy Mark Hunt. I wish there was Aussie commentary on this one again. It was so funny. But he took this one again on short notice, and the commentary on this at the start before the start of the fight was really interesting because they were essentially giving Mark Hunt no chance.
Yeah,
Fedor was the guy at the time, and he came in and had a lot of good sub attempts on Mark Hunt or on Fedor, and he rolled out of an armbar that the commentators thought was locked in. And they also said sort of Fedor was the guy for the armbar at the time, and he rolled out of it.
So he tried a Kimura.
Yeah, he did try a Kimura.
Key lock. I remember that was great.
Yeah, really impressed with Mark Hunt. He landed some nice stuff on Fedor that it didn't seem like people had been landing at the time.
Yeah, it was really it was a really good fight. Great suggestion, I thought.
Yeah,
and
agreed.
One of those ones, almost like a retrospective one for Fedor. Whereas at the time, like Mark Hunt was 5-2, I believe, and maybe it didn't look like a huge win, but then kind of what Mark Hunt done later in his career, it looked a bit better. But of course he had that kickboxing background as well.
I still find Pride hilarious. There's some geezer at the side of the thing pushing the lads back in when they get too close to the fucking metal cage. Metal ropes.
The ring, yeah, man. So many people have fell out of them things. After watching some Pride now, what do you think of the ring for MMA?
People using the ring,
use of the ring instead of using using the cage.
Don't like it. I don't like it. It's not boxing.
Yeah.
And like some of these Pride fights where the referee is lifting them up and then putting them back in the same position in the middle of the ring. I mean, you could just have a cage and you can have them fight against the cage.
But here's the argument against it.
Okay.
In the UFC, a lot of the time we see guys being pushed up against the cage and just kind of held there. With the ropes, it kind of changed the game. It kind of, not that it favoured strikers, but forced wrestlers to try get takedowns in the middle of the cage or ring versus what they do now. So maybe you could argue that it was a bit better in that sense.
Yeah, in that sense, I think the cage is safer.
I agree with that one.
I mean, we've seen enough stories lately with Patrick Day in boxing, and there's enough stuff going on that's dangerous enough in there without like having to worry about falling out of the fucking ring.
Yeah, no.
So, yeah, for me, the cage is better.
Yeah. I agree. Cage is
Yeah.
better, but I think there is that little thing.
There is,
of,
yeah,
you know.
100%.
So I'm going to give you a fight for next week. I got
Yep.
no suggestions for this one, but I thought we'd go right back to the start. UFC 1. Weird fight, very, very weird fight, but it's an important one because it was the very first fight that was broadcast on a UFC pay-per-view ever. It was Jared Gordeau against Taylor Tooley. So just go to the first fight on UFC 1, you'll get
Okay.
it, because I know you're not going to be able to
Yeah.
type them. But little background, Jared Gordeau, I think he was a French kickboxer against Taylor Tooley, who was I think he was a sumo wrestler. So it was mad. Yeah.
And it is one wearing the sumo gear and the other.
He's not wearing a sumo gear, but not far from it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because obviously everyone knows that image of UFC 1 and one guy's in the gi
Yeah.
and the other guy's wearing boots.
Yeah, and then one guy has one boxing glove.
Yeah,
and
insanity.
yeah, madness. Go watch that one.
Teddy,
Great stuff. Do you have any news?
I have plenty of news.
Weird.
Yeah. First up, Rob, we have Stevens and Yair Rodriguez. We spoke about this fight earlier on the show,
Yeah.
but bit of sound in
did.
this video. Yair Rodriguez hit Jeremy Stevens with a liver kick, and it reminded me of the liver shot Stevens took against Aldo, and the noise it made was sick. And so he does that. He stands there for a second. He takes it, it cripples him, and then he buckles him with the leg kick. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
So we're gonna watch it here. Like that looks like a stoppage anytime soon as well.
Yeah.
So credit to Stevens.
Let's hear that liver kick.
Oh, I love it, man. You love to see it. You love to see it. Not if you're Stevens.
Oh no.
Yeah. The way he just moves backwards.
Stevens is tough though, isn't
Man, that man is hard as
Yeah.
nails.
he? I'd tap out.
I'd be gone.
Yeah, be gone. Yeah, it was a fucking. It sounded like a
Baseball
gunshot.
bat, yeah.
Yeah, just
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
And then the
Love
leg
it.
kick to follow up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he was going down anyway, but fuck, that was
yeah.
great fight.
Next up, we have, I think it was last week, we had a promo for 244. They're doing such good work with this, man. This is BT's work. So
I haven't seen this.
This is a new promo. Very comic book style. I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah, I love it. It's quality.
Oh man. Lads,
Great, innit?
this is what you do.
Honestly,
See, that's what you do.
they have, in my opinion, they have nailed the promotion of this fight.
I agree. And even if the promotion was like a little bit bad, like if you weren't into the comic book style type stuff,
Doesn't need promoting.
it doesn't need promotion. But also, it's different. At least it's different.
Yeah.
It's not just like, the card this weekend. We spoke about it. Like, I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah.
It's just another card.
This
you know,
is brilliant.
this is brilliant.
Love
Love it.
I love the GTA style promo we had last week, and now this comic book
Yeah.
style one. Quality.
All over.
Next up, we have a video from a good man, Kaposa.
Kaposa, yeah.
One of the best MMA accounts on Twitter, so get following him.
Yeah.
Watch again.
Didn't hear this?
Oh no, what did I?
I missed it. I looked away.
Apologies.
It's all good. But the viewers
It didn't show it, so
Ah,
sorry.
cool. Do you need sound?
If you want,
Give you a
yeah.
bit, yeah.
Round one, another body kick by Villarinho.
Oh.
Hook by Villarinho. Wow. Precise.
Oh.
strike.
Great
He's
ground
out.
pound.
He's out. Villarinho
Oh.
very conscious.
Oh, this guy is calculated.
Mm.
Villarinho is on a mission. Nice flying knee. And it's
Oh,
over.
Night.
yes.
Villarinho.
Jorge Masvidal,
Yeah.
eat your heart out. Look, he has the ponytail,
Yeah.
the beard.
He fucked him up.
What's his name?
Wants
So his
victory.
name is
How
just
determined is a guy like this?
we're gonna watch it on loop. His name is there.
Is
Yeah.
totally out. The expression of a man that doesn't want
Even
to-
he's like, what did I
Yeah.
just do, man?
That's what he's why he's
Oh, and that was very different
because he said, you know
than the
what?
usual ones. Like he led with the flying knee.
Yeah.
Usually it's the kind of the
It was
switch
like-
knee.
A Superman
Yeah.
style.
Holy fuck.
It's amazing to see a guy with that kind of technique.
That was beautiful. That was a beautiful performance.
That's
It's
Well
like a
done,
it's
guy.
like a front leg flying knee.
Yeah. Oh,
Beautiful, man.
beautifully.
Great work.
shades of Jeremy Stevens. I can't remember who he fought, but he landed a similar enough.
I love
knee.
how afterwards he's just like, what did I just inflict on this
Yeah,
poor man?
yeah. But like, what I loved about that guy there, and why I will keep his name in after 3 years away. I don't think I know him. he was very calculated. He hurt the guy and he was very, very calculated. That was beautiful.
Ref could have stopped it arguably as well.
Yeah, he could have.
At
Yeah,
the ground
he could have.
event.
Yeah, the guy was doing a good job. But Jesus Christ, look at him.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like he's doing yoga.
Yeah. Next up, we have a meme from Submission Radio. From Ben Sassoli, who fought
Greg Hardy.
Yeah. Feeling cute, might not listen to my team and throw the same punch for 15 minutes later on.
Well, if you can't laugh at yourself.
Yeah, I like it. I rate it.
Yeah,
you gotta laugh at yourself.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Beautiful mullet too.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Big beard as well.
Yeah.
This is my favourite bit from this week now.
Unfortunate way that's stopped there. Guys are winking now.
Yeah. So this is Sky Sports and their pronunciation of Habib's name.
Oh. I can't even hear that.
No?
No. We're going to need some more audio. Potentially there. Oh, there's that.
Apologies for that. What's that like?
A bit better. We might need more on the computer as well, but we'll...
that probably is it. 1 second.
Yeah. So. No worries. I'll fill the airtime. If you don't know what Sky Sports News is, it's news by Sky Sports, mostly sports.
Thank you for that clarification,
No
Rob.
problem. Just wanted to make sure the viewers knew what we were looking at.
Yeah.
It's better. Holy fuck!
Brilliant, isn't it?
Joey Diaz done a better job than he did.
He butchered it.
Let me hear that again. Holy fuck! Like I've never seen somebody. Oh my god!
He butchered it. Just call him Habib.
Kabi Kamanamanabanabov. Something like that. Unreal.
Shocking stuff, man. That man is paid to do that job.
Do you know what I love as well? He said it with so much confidence.
Yeah.
Like, just flew through that.
He really went with the say anything with confidence and people believe
exactly,
it.
yeah.
So,
yeah.
Last up, we have the return of a favourite. My guy Will Fleury was back on the Spud Life this week.
I knew it was either going to be Max Holloway or Will Fleury.
I did say, Max Holloway. It's been a while, man.
It's been a while.
Give me some content.
Yeah.
Will was back on the Spud Life, mixing it up with some Brussels sprouts this week. I appreciate the mixing it up. I'm not a fan of the Brussels sprouts myself. I don't know about you, Rob.
Christmas.
Okay.
I'll eat them on Christmas.
Yeah.
Don't know why, but I will.
A bit of a lack of spuds as well. I mean, it's like 3.5 spuds there now.
Yeah.
The eggs look nice though.
Yeah. Is that cottage cheese?
It's an egg and some cottage cheese, I would say.
Yeah. Looks like cottage cheese there.
Yeah.
No.
I appreciate the mixing it up. Not
So
my kind of meal though.
No, not my kind of meal either, but you know.
I'm not going to argue with a 185-pound killer.
Exactly, yeah, and he's in shape. But I would remove the cottage cheese personally. It looks like you would remove the Brussels sprouts.
And the cottage cheese.
And the cottage cheese. So you just have spuds and eggs.
Yeah, more spuds, more eggs.
Yeah.
To be honest. So, yeah.
Brilliant.
That's all this week, Rob.
Class. I enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the weird news. We do this every week. And, of course, everything we talked about on the show. The card in the weekend is not bad. There's actually 2 cards. Arguably, the Bellator card might be a little bit better, but I like the main event in the UFC. But yeah, thanks, Sean. It was a fun show.
No problem, Rob.